Welcome back to another episode of the TravelFishFilm podcast. My name is Joseph Evans.
I'm Bradley Funkhauser.
This is episode 3, and this is Guide Bullshit.
Guide BS. I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, baby.
We just finished up with, we both just got done with guide trips today, and we have to walk into this room to put our float tubes away. So we figured, you know what? We got enough time. Let's do a little potty.
Absolutely, man.
Let's go potty.
How you feeling after your guide trip today?
Dude, I'm feeling good.
You have a halfer or fuller?
Well, it's interesting because it is a full day, but we only did like 6 hours.
Which happens.
Yeah, so it's like we charged it as a full day, so we'll say it's a full day.
Full
but
day.
We didn't. I didn't buy any lunch or anything.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was nice. It was a rad day. It was fun. What about you? You had a halfer?
Halfer.
We'll get into mine later.
All right.
Let's talk about yours.
Let's talk about
yours.
yours,
Because I know who you were with today, and I love that man.
I love that man. Dude, this is going to be fun. We haven't really talked about, we've briefly, and if you guys haven't seen our first 2 episodes, thanks.
Yeah, all I could see on the last podcast, you were just like, so basically,
well, that's how I word all the time, kind of douchey, but it's all right.
It's okay.
Okay,
Just put it up
here we go. So, first episode, we brought Sam on board. Mm-hmm. You guys know who Sam Allen is. By now, at least you should. If you don't, watch our first episode. Our second episode was the origin story. Bradley and I talked about how we became best buddies, basically brothers, and now here we are. This is our 3rd episode. I'm actually so fired up.
There's been a outcry in our social media platforms for more podcasts. So.
There really has. You guys have been killing it. Thank you guys so much for showing love on them.
They've been doing well. We haven't. We've been bad.
We've been bad, but that's because we are going to be in full guide speed mode.
Mm-hmm. Guide speed, brother.
Do you like that? I've been hashtagging guide speed lately.
Have you noticed that I started putting it as my location as well? But the location is guide speed.
I like that.
That's so rad.
I love that Instagram allows the occasional like dope geotag that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes I ain't tagging where I've been at, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and sometimes we do tag exactly where we're at. You wouldn't know.
Even if you don't like that, we'd be doing that.
Dude. Okay, so when it comes to this guide talk thing, we're going to try our best to, keep stuff relatively private with our clients. I wouldn't want anyone just going and blasting my name around about whatever. Because funny stuff happens out there. Awesome stuff happens out there. But we're going to go with, Client A and Client B. That's what
For sure.
So you had Client A today. I just think we should get right into
let's talk about today, and then I think we'll transition. Yeah.
Let's just talk about what's happening around. I don't want a topic. I just want to talk about what's happening in our lives. We just got done, and I just want to hear what's going on.
Perfect. I love that. Well, I'm going to backtrack to yesterday before we talk about today. Right. Yesterday was your birthday, dude.
Dude, yes.
2-5. No, we can't clap. We'll mess up the audio.
Right. We'll mess with the
That's all right.
editing software.
Yeah, we're really new to this podcast thing too. Guys, this is kind of it's nerve-wracking getting on here and talking to a camera, even though there's actually nobody watching us other than the Sony staring at us. But
you're so used to I love the Sony.
I know.
Look at him.
Isn't it funny how when we look at the Sony, it's almost like it's kind of weird because when we're in guide mode versus winter travel fish film mode, we haven't I grabbed my camera today and I was like, how do I use this thing? Because we don't.
You brought your camera today on your guide trip?
No. When I got all set up.
To podcast.
I just mean when we're in winter mode, we're in film mode. But when we're in summer mode, we are in guide mode.
Yeah, we are.
That's when the TravelFishFilm social media page comes alive in the winter, and then now it's we work on our personal pages because we're trying to work.
Well, yeah. So everyone knows this, but we're trying to book as many trips as possible and have as many trips as possible so we can make as much money as possible so we can go do these things in the winter.
That's right, because obviously winter trout guiding isn't as much of a thing. It's slowly becoming a thing. If people can put on the layers and do the dang thing, it's so worth it. But regardless of the point, you are 25 years old.
Of the point. Yes, 25 years old.
We had such a fun night last night.
Thank you to all the birthday wishes. Everyone was
Absolutely.
so sweet. So I got tons of messages, and I tried to
You deserved it, bro.
Good, and I really appreciate it. I had a great day. Joe and I actually, it was the craziest thing ever. It was the coolest gift ever by, maybe the man upstairs. But we got a cancellation yesterday on my birthday. So we're supposed to guide on my birthday.
Both of us were.
Both of us, but then we both got cancellation fees. And so it's like a paid day off. And so I went and floated in a float tube. I went and fished Silver Creek with Tippet in my tube. And you were grinding on TFF. But then we met up in the evening, and we had a really fun dye tournament with everyone at the trailers. It was so fun.
That was sick, dude. That was a good birthday.
Yeah, we played beer dye. It was like we even did the bracket thing where we took a cardboard.
Yeah, we had the whole trailer fam.
Yeah, the whole fam was there, and we had teams and names. It was great. We had a little tournament. It was so fun. So, thanks for bringing that up, Joe. I appreciate it.
Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday, 2-5. If you read my card, I said this is gonna be your year. I really think so.
I did read your card, and I
really think this is gonna be your big year.
It's feeling like it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. 25 is kind of like, oof.
Nah, man. Yeah, I know you're big scared about the age thing, but you've been blessed to do a lot of really cool things at the age of 25.
I'm not trying to say like it might. Yeah.
No, I know. I just
when
think
you get to 25, trust me, in 2 years when you're at 25, you're
right.
gonna go, holy crap, dude. And I'm gonna be 27. Right. I'm gonna go, shut up. I'm the one that's dying.
Well, make this year your best, dude. It's gonna be sick.
Everybody who's over that age right now is all like, you don't even know what you're talking about. They're all gonna be all pissed.
They're like, that's so true.
We said that 25 was old. We're sorry, everyone. So funny, but I'm super blessed, super happy, and we've had such a good summer so far. I'm stoked.
We had a cool winter too, man.
Oh yeah, we have.
But this summer's been to start this summer, man. This was both of our busiest Junes we've ever had, and this is both of our fifth season guiding in general. You did 4 in Picabo, 1 in Alaska, and this is my 5th season here in Picabo. And I mean, holy cow. We're doing the dang thing. We're full-time fly fishing guys.
This year is the first year that I feel like we're doing the dang thing.
Oh, totally.
Because the other years, you're just trying to prove that you can do it.
You can stay in the fight.
To your other guide staff members and things like that. You're basically just, you're still getting... I think that good outfitters watch their guides for a while until they know exactly who they are. And then after that, they put full trust in them.
Totally.
And I feel like this was the first year I have like that full backing, full trust. Everyone's stoked we're here. Everyone's been happy.
And regardless of our young age, I feel like we're fully accepted on the team. I really do. I feel that love, which is dope.
Yeah, and we have a close-knit team, and we have a small guide staff, which I think is such a blessing because having a small guide staff means that we work together, not against each other.
Literally.
There's no animosity, and it's really... I don't know. It's so fun, I think, too. Oh, my gosh.
I love everyone we work with, dude. We're so lucky. Like, the first place the first fly shop at age 17 when we graduated high school that we both worked at was like, young me was asking to go fish with the guides and just get to I just want to hang out with them. I just want to be in their presence, and it was like a crime. Oh, and now it's like...
I remember getting your phone calls. We were both in Island Park. And we were getting phone calls from everyone, or we were calling back to each other like, "Dang, dude!"
We said to hang out with each other.
Hates us.
We said to hang out with each other because no one wanted to hang out with us, and it was like our upper guides.
Yeah.
They're like they give us cookies all the time.
Yeah.
They give us work, and they give us little fly patterns that work so good, which has been huge. And now this is the year that we're finally figuring some things out on our own, and trying new places and getting weirder.
But it's being more savvy about it. We've known about these places, but it's being savvy to the point of knowing about what's about to be fishing good before anybody else does. There's these little nuanced things this year I feel like we're both doing. What's funny is I'm starting to see you do the exact same days as I'm doing, and we're trying to secretly pick one that the other one isn't doing, right? Based off of small things like weather or wind.
Believe it or not, Bradley and I low key as much as we. Okay, here's the first story. Here we go. Okay, we have early June. Bradley and I are waiting on the first big low pressure system to move into where we live to go fish locally for ourselves. And we were, it was early enough in the season where we weren't guiding every day yet, but maybe 3 times a week. So we were still fishing for ourselves, learning and playing. And we both see this front come in, and I tell my fiance, I'm like, I'm setting an alarm for 3 a.m. And she's like, you're nuts. I'm like, well, I'm going to fish till 7, then I can go back to bed. Right. I have the day off. It's whatever. And I set an alarm for 3, and I go night fishing until 5:30 till the sun starts to come up. And then I go fish during the day. Had a pretty fun little session with streamers and stuff in the morning. And then I was done by 7:30. And I call you, or you call me, and it's like, hey, dude, you up yet? And I didn't tell you just because I was like, I'm just going to go do this. There's no way he's awake. He's too tired.
This is the first time that we didn't tell. Like, I purposely did not say anything because I wanted to do it.
Yeah, sometimes we want to do it. Yeah.
And we both wanted. It was so funny.
We both wanted for.
Because he literally left one location. The second I pulled in, he had left.
I left there at like 4:32.
And we did not tell each other we were going to do that at all. And we both come back telling each other exactly the same story of like almost identically of what we both did. Because we both saw the conditions. We both went, oh, they start clicking, the gears turn, and we both did the same thing. Which I think is so funny because now that like almost all of our fisheries and our permitting and our guide outfitter board and all that crap, but they're all almost available now. So now it's like, what do you do? It's hatches or weather, you name it. There's all these things, and we're trying to, be better at them and go to those places sooner and or before it gets fished or find the big one. So this is more savvy than it's ever been this year, and it's been fun.
And I think also just it's been hard. I mean, as a guide, still learning the area, which 5 years in, we are still learning. We have such a big playground, and some guides guide the same river and do the same 4 floats every day, which, if you get great at them and you love them, that's fine. Yeah, like mad respect to that. If you love your stretches, we love where we fish. So,
for sure. But
we have such a huge playground. We're in a tube one day, then we're rowing a drift boat the next day, and then we're walking and wading 4 different, a tailwater, a freestone, and a spring creek the next day.
Yeah.
So we're always learning. But this year I feel like I finally had some confidence when we're like, I'm gonna go here before everyone else gets there.
Yeah.
I'm not like timid and I don't wait to get a report from someone. I go do it first, and it either pays off or it doesn't. But that we still give each other respect for being like, wow, you went and tried that.
Like,
good on you. Yeah. Because you may have got hurt today, but the next time you do that, it's gonna be good.
It could pay off, and then you come back as hero.
Totally.
It's different.
Or I give feedback on my failure of a day. You go back there the next day when it's ready because I was a day early, and then you have a good day.
Right.
And like, as much as that failure hurts for me, it just only benefited you to get my report. Like, we literally come back every day and we're like, how'd your trip go? And you go, oh, well, the people were good. Fishing was fishing. And I go, and then,
all right.
just get to it and tell me. And then I go, every time I go, how was the fishing?
Yeah, you always have me go first. I always
every
tell
time.
My guy, I always go first, and sometimes that's great, and sometimes it bites me because I'm like, oh, dude, I had a killer day. We got this, and then he's like, and doesn't say anything. That's awesome, cool. Oh, that's a great day. That's a great fish. And all of a sudden he's like, he slides his phone across the table, and it's like, oh, swipe. Oh, it's another one. Oh no. So sometimes that's a good call for you to always go second. This is a great tip. This is, okay, so we went from story time, we went to tip time. So here we go. Tip time. If you're a fly fisherman, if you're in a guide staff, maybe you're growing up in this thing and you're experiencing this industry, never be the first one in the room to show the picture. Don't be the one. Never be that guy. Never be the one that the first thing you do is you walk into a fly shop and you throw down a picture of a fish, or you're talking with everybody and who knows, you're in a group at the takeout and you're chilling there. Don't be the guy that's like, well, look at my big one, because you never know who else around you has got a bigger one sitting there. How big of a fool you're gonna look. But also, it's just you want to. It's not about the fish, really. It's about the day you had. It's about the experience you had. So you don't want to be the guy that comes across as all you care about is fish, because that's not the case.
That's totally so true.
Especially when we come back from guide trips, right? Or like maybe we're here for lunch, the shop, and we're like, how's the fishing, man? You don't go, oh, we smashed a 22 on a dry and this. No, it's a wonderful day of weather out there, dude. It's such a stunner.
We had a blast.
Vibes are high.
Vibes, yeah, totally. I mean, like, the amount of times I've been in a room, and that was a really great tip because one of our peers told us that. If you're watching this, you know who you are. But that was such a great piece of advice, because how many times have me and you traveled in the wintertime at a lodge across the world, and we're sitting in a room and they're talking about trout fishing back home, and they're showing pictures of fish, and me and you are just holding everything in that we can.
Just trying to keep it
Just
together.
trying to be humble and be nice, and that's part of it. So, we want to be humble and we want to be nice, and we want to let those people show their fish stories. Let them have that moment,
Yeah. But don't also be the guy that, especially if it's a younger kid who's like excited about a fish, to be like,
Don't
shove
one-up
something
him.
bigger. And, you know, but some
It's not
people,
worth it.
But also some people do need to be put in their place. So
True. Read the room.
Read the room for sure. But I mean, some kids need to be put in their place and understand, like, okay, yes, you had an epic day, but it's like the grand scheme of things here. Look at the 5 years of these, because that's the thing. We go and show pictures to maybe one of our upper guide staff members.
Yeah.
They have 15 years of photos stashed of all these epic moments and years where the fishing was way better than what you're having right now. So it's like you can't sit there and, I don't know. It's good advice though to not be the first one to throw the photo down. But I mean, if you're sitting there with the boys and everyone says, nah, it's okay. And that's usually what ends up happening. I go, nah, come on, show me them. And this is in private usually, and then I get to see them.
With your boys, it's good. But that was such a good piece of advice to be like in a room and let the photos get passed around, like to end that little sequence. Only show if you get asked.
Yeah, exactly. Only show if you get asked. Absolutely.
But man.
Okay, so wait.
So today's it's holy smokes, it's July.
So
in June, dude, we must have did 15, 20 days, bro. That's huge.
I think we did.
I think I did 20.
I think I did 20.
But in June, usually it's like 10, 15. Every year is a little more. But what's kind of cool about the summer trout guide season is that Bradley and I, even though we're season 5, we're still trying to find that sweet spot. Like some of our guides here on this team, they'll do over 100 days in their sleep. And like if we almost got close to 100 days last year, and it was like, holy smokes. I am
big season.
Big season. But I think,
dude, if you're doing 100 guide trips, I don't care.
Between May and October.
Sure. You're doing the dang thing. Okay? You're doing the dang thing. And it's a lot of work. It's hard to have 100 different people that want to book you to go fly fishing.
Imagine remembering 200 different names.
Yeah.
Someone goes, hey, I fished you last year. And
it's like a singular
it's
walk-in
not disrespectful.
That never, you know, it's,
Yeah,
but,
dude, it's really cool. We get to actually meet a lot of crazy people out there on the water. Not crazy people, but like different types. It's crazy how many different types of people we get to meet.
Who book guided trips.
Oh, yeah.
Clients are, it's an interesting thing.
It gets weirder and weirder, and it gets better and better.
It gets better and better and weird. It gets so weird out there, but it's so fun out there. It's so hilarious. This job. What we're meaning by weird is the job that we're doing is weird, not the people who we're guiding.
It's not even about the
it's
fishing.
It's the relationship and the way that this whole thing works. And now that we've done it long enough, you kind of understand the game. And it is kind of a weird thing. You know, you kind of, somebody puts forth money to spend time with you and learn from you, but it's learning fly fishing sometimes, and sometimes it's about just becoming really great friends.
Totally.
Sometimes it's just about
spending a day with someone else.
I care a lot about my clients. Like some of these people, I've heard their stories, I know their truths, and it's like, I love this dude, and I want the best for this guy. And every day when we go fishing, I want this guy to have an epic day, or this girl to have an epic day, whatever it be. Like, I think today was a good example, too, when we're getting into our guide trips from today. Like, you had someone who I have guided with, who you referred to me once. Epic guy. Yeah, the best. Dude, literally the most radiating positive dude I've ever met in my life. And then I had
he's happy before the trip even starts.
You've guided the same group that I've with, and they're great.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fantastic people.
It's wild that some people, you break that film into their life, and you like within just, let's say it's a half day and you have 4 hours with them, and you get their whole life story and they get all of yours, and that's pretty cool. Sometimes sometimes the fishing isn't even there and you just hang out with them.
Sorry, man, no one can see your face. But yes, I agree with you. Sometimes it's just a deep, and like it gets deep out there. Yeah. It gets interesting. And sometimes not always. Like some trips it's like just maybe about education and they really want to fish, and you only have 4 hours to get someone to fish. You need to be fishing. You know, and
sometimes you don't even break that surface, and you don't even talk about anything, but you just talk about fishing. And then at the end of the trip, you have like 30 minutes, and then you get a quick brief about their life and yours, and how you're going to see each other again, and boom. Yeah. It's super unique. Every trip, still to this day, every trip is different. Even with someone when you would know what to expect. Some people, like clients of ours that fish with us often, I know exactly what to expect throughout the day, which is a pretty reassuring feeling. But then sometimes you get hit with something in the middle of the day and you're like, oh my goodness, I did not expect this.
Yeah, exactly.
And but like the thing that being a fly fishing guide is so much not about fly fishing. There's every step of the way. knowing the history about the place you're fishing, knowing the wildlife that you're surrounded by.
The science around you.
You know, sometimes people hire us just to learn one stretch of river or one stretch, like one mile stretch. Today, my client, all he wanted to do was learn the river that we fished today because he never had fished it before, and he wanted to go back and fish it.
Yeah.
But then other times they just want to hang out.
And other times it's like, dog, I don't care how or what or where. I just want the biggest fish you can offer me.
Yeah.
And that's also a kind of an interesting and fun day as well. Sometimes you're doing things that are super unorthodox just to try to get one thing, and it's not necessarily even feeling like fly fishing sometimes.
No.
And then sometimes
it's like hunting.
And then one dude like will book you literally just to teach you how to fish a baetis or how to fish a dry fly on Silver Creek, which is a very hard thing to do. So it's like,
I love those type of trips.
I love those trips, and they're like no nymphs. I think that's pretty interesting. I say, are you cool with not catching as many fish? And they're always like, those dudes who ask for no nymphs understand they're
totally.
Like, we don't have to catch fish today. It's all about just fishing dries. And like that type of trip is also all of a sudden reassuring.
Very.
This guy gets it. It's not a big problem today if we don't catch the biggest and the most and the greatest, because he just wants to learn how to do a certain thing.
And that kind of transitions into a fun topic of expectations.
Yeah.
Some people have wildly high expectations, and I'm a crazy big believer. Again, I've only guided 5 seasons, but I have realized in these 5 seasons that someone with wildly high expectations never gets the big one. I really think that the fish gods...
It's a vibe in the air.
Dude, how many big fish did our upper guides get this year from first-time anglers? Also, first angler's luck is totally a thing as well. But just people that... I always get the biggest
this
fish.
Year specifically,
oh my gosh.
We have seen monster fish
on
not
dries.
From us, on dries, with people who do not know how to fish dries like that. Like, they're not great anglers.
Yeah.
But they're landing giants, and it's almost like, it's like, that's the only way that happened was by pure luck.
Yeah,
pure luck.
And they've put in so many days on the water, and they're always
also adjacent to a very great fisherman who understands everything that's happening in front of him and how to teach and walk someone through that moment.
I love when I have someone that
pure luck.
I have someone that comes up to me and they're just like, I'm just so excited for today, and I'm like, me too. And it's like, that's the simplicity of it, and then they always get gifted with a good day. I mean, I recently had one of the best guide trips of my career. And the only thing he said, he's like, I'd love to see some brown trout today. He's like, I don't get to see enough brown trout. And then he was like, I don't know what a double dry rig is. And I was like, okay, well, let's put one on and let's show you how to fish that. And he was like, cool, let's learn how to fish a double dry rig. And then we worked on hook setting. But he started the day with like, I just want to learn as much as possible in our small amount of time today. The best attitude, and the fish gods gifted him. And
and he got gifted, brother man. Brother man.
That was a good day.
That day was Joe didn't say a word. I knew something was wrong because Joe didn't say a single word to me. He was so quiet and calm and relaxed in the corner, and he didn't say anything about fishing, and he just let everyone talk about it, and all the guides and everyone was raving about their day. And then he's like, well, I had a day too. And then he's like, I'm not kidding. He just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, and they're all and I'm like, ah.
Those days are awesome, dude.
Some days are just.
But what's
than
wild
others.
is I had 2 weeks of hell.
Yeah.
My gosh.
And I had a pretty decent 2 weeks, man. And
you
had
did.
hell, man, on your hands with everything from,
clients,
big, terrible, like bad clients in some situations.
Oh yeah, people who couldn't cast.
To just terrible conditions. To you name it, you had a bad go of it. And I remember
you get
that.
rewarded.
And then you get blessed.
It's crazy how also. I was talking to my client about this today, about how strategic we have to be as a guide when it comes to making a game plan for the day. So, for example, today I had a half day, and we started off fishing, high sticking onto the opposite side, wading in deeper water. And, I knew where the best pool was, and I give myself a little bit of credit for this day, but some days I do not strategically plan this way. You ever have a day where you step into the best pool first and nobody's ready to fish, and hook them, break them off, hook them, lose them, because your client isn't really warmed up yet. So like us guys have to sometimes think of strategic planning.
Let's get some moments
we have
before that moment.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like I know where the
absolutely.
best pool is. And that's something I've learned a lot over the last couple of years is like,
don't put them right into the fire right away because
they're not
flames
ready.
will get them.
I mean, heck, because we fish as much as we do, we can sometimes hop into a pool and like we know we'll put a few in the net. But when we're fishing with people who don't fish as much as we do, they need a little bit of warm up.
No, especially someone who hasn't fly fished before. That's the big one.
That too.
That's the biggest one. Is like, I actually made this mistake the other day. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna toss it in there and see what happens. And I'm standing next to him. I'm like, let's see what happens. He tosses it in there. I was like, okay. And
was that chubby?
Gonk, and I was like, oh no. And he's big one, jump in crazy and just grabs that line.
Good old death grip.
And I'm yelling. I mean, I told him before this happens, you cannot death grip, and he death gripped. But I mean, so I was thinking to myself, yeah, we should have walked down 60 yards below. Caught 2 of those little chiquitos first. Talked about it. Maybe I even grabbed that line. I even do the whole thing. Because here's the thing. I knew he was going to hook one. See, that's where I made the mistake. I knew it.
I've made that same mistake so
I walked right in there
times.
And I saw him in there and I said, just do it. Let's just get it. Let's start this trip off with a bang. Because if you get that first one right off the gate,
it
takes every pressure off of you as a guy immediately. So once you get that nice fish for the day, after that, it's only high vibes, and it's easy to train or to coach someone through moments after they've already feel like they're elated and won. True, because they're more open to learning. They're not so worried about not getting that thing. They already got the thing.
That's so true.
So
man, that's such a good point. I just can't. I'm still just in such complete awe. It's already July. I'm sorry, I'm switching back subjects, but
you're good. I can't believe
I keep bouncing around.
This July too will be like almost every day.
What are you excited for? I guess. Well, hold up. I don't know about you, but I have starting today after our paid day off. Which, if that wasn't a thing, we would have gone 15 days consecutive. But I'm about to go.
You're about to
12.
Go 12. Yeah.
12 days consecutive. For all them guides out there, you stay in the fight.
Stay in the fight.
It's July, baby. Stay in the fight.
Yeah, it just started. It just began. We haven't even got to July 4th craziness yet.
No.
And that's always, and we haven't even got to the whole meet and greet yet.
Wait, what's the meet and greet?
When big fish all
together.
There's a time of the year.
Change the subject.
But
meet and greet.
I'm excited. I'm excited for July because it's going to be. I don't know. I just think it's going to be a banger.
I've been
this
excited.
Has been the most peaceful and like there's
smooth
been no
sailing.
drama. The shop's in great shape.
We got over our weird
happy.
phase. Remember how early season there's always like one weird week?
Oh,
we're like,
there's already been some weird weeks and there's been some weird
weird things happen.
Based off of the last 25 years of my life, this summer has been super smooth.
Heck yeah.
Smooth sailing. We just need to get some more of these videos out. Other than that, it's like I think we're doing really good. And this was our first real year of like full-fledged, full butt guiding, and I'm excited to have like July almost be completely booked up.
Absolutely,
And
because
if
we're gonna be looking at October.
Hallelujah.
Absolutely, we're gonna be looking at October and be like, I'm glad we worked all of July because now we can go play. Work hard, play hard, dude. That's this life that we live.
Here's the thing, you're not getting paid that much off of YouTube to be able to afford like doing these trips or having the equipment to go fishing or the time or the gas or whatever. Like we have to do this right now. It's so funny. So many people are like wanting us to do more YouTube and post more videos. And it's like, well, once we feel like we're secure enough in the money that we have, maybe we'll think about that. But right now, it's not even good to think about not guiding. I think you almost have to be like, no, I'm guiding. I'm a guide. Like sometimes we get in this thing. Sometimes where you're kind of like, oh, we need to continue to keep editing.
It's like two different ropes getting pulled.
One's
pulling my right arm for TFF and one's pulling my left arm to be a guide. But
and I feel like they both take a lot of commitment if you want to do one great. Do you know what I mean?
That's so true.
So it's like if you want to have a great video and an unbelievable like thing that maybe does really well, you have to put so much effort into like more hours than you do the other one. So if you want to guide really hard, you have to just you have to like wake up every day with the mentality of like, okay, where's the fishing today, and you like you almost can't skip the beats.
Totally.
It's
I mean,
hard.
and as guides,
so hard for us.
like opposed to, I will say, I think God. We talked about this year. I think God truthfully gifted us with the talent of being good fishing guides. Like I believe I'm on my way to being a good fishing guide one day, and I want to, and that's a goal I want to reach. I care so much more than I know a lot of the other guides out there. I know that for a fact, and I know you do too.
Oh, I mean,
we care so much, and that's why I think we're gonna be great one day, is because we also do our homework. Opposed to in the videos, it gets hard to do your homework editing wise. I mean, heck, we'd be Googling stuff all the time on how do I add this sound effect on Adobe Premiere Pro. But to us, our second nature is. Like today, after my guide trip, I went and made 20, 30 casts and caught a couple fish and did homework.
I saw.
But we do homework, I think, more naturally on the guide side than we do our homework on the video side, and maybe that's just.
I think it's because you were born to be a fishing guide.
Totally.
And you're building yourself into a filmmaker.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Put that on a T-shirt.
You're shaping yourself to be that, but you were born to do this.
We'll see where it goes.
You were, and eventually that can be done. That can be over with.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to be guiding my entire life. I don't.
True.
I would like to see another way out, but right now, it feels like we're rock stars, man, and I'm just out there.
I'm so proud of us, man.
I wake up every day, and I'm excited for the day. I'm nervous for the day.
We're nervous
If you're not nervous for a guide trip, you just don't care.
That's true.
You can do it for 20 years, and I know some of these guys. They still every day they wake up, and you're anxious, and you're thinking about what's going to happen. If you give that up, I feel like there's a little bit of your performance will give up.
Totally. Do you ever stay up late at night and can't sleep because you're thinking about where to go the next day?
All the time.
Same.
What I do is I force myself to go to sleep earlier, and then I wake up earlier in the morning, and I think and I plan when I'm more.
I'm always thinking, where's Brad going? Where's Dalton going? Where's Cole Beans going today? I wonder where.
And what I do is I just look at Joe's location. Where's Beans at? Beans, he's going to the
when we were in Puerto Rico, I made them. I made all the boys, Brad and Cole, and everybody share location because you just never know what'll happen out there when you're wading the reef or when we're on a skiff, and if danger ever happened, you know.
Or if we're wading just like Silver Creek, stuff happens on the
water.
Yeah,
man. I mean, we're also. Our friend group and our guide group is a lot closer than I feel like a lot of other friend groups I've ever had. So it's like we're always knowing where everybody's at, which again, like I really do think that's like I've been on the phone with a client and I've been like, I'm going to text you, I know we're going to meet at this time. I'm going to text you where we're going to meet because and I'm very honest with my clients. I know you are too. You have to come across confident, but in a way I'll go, I truthfully am still kind of debating between this place and this place. I'm going to wait till I get a report back from one of my buddies who fished it yesterday, hear how that went, and then I'll give you an answer. I mean, we're constantly keeping tabs because how would we, if we don't have time when we're guiding every day to go explore the next river without maybe hearing our buddy who went and explored that other river.
Right. No,
super helpful.
So what's helpful is, we have like 5 younger kids around who are always fishing and staying active, and that is helpful to know what's going on out there. It's great to have everybody in your guide staff and in your fly shop should be pulling on the same rope.
That's so true.
And if you have people on the guide staff or in the fly shop pulling on their own personal ropes, it shows up for the namesake of everyone.
The outfitter of the whole outfitter.
The outfitter looks really dumb when you have weird stuff happening within your guide staffs and within your fly shop. And I think that happens to more than you think. And especially lodges, because I've done the lodge experience before, and it can get really messy when it comes to that for some weird reason. And that one makes even more sense because no one's making independent money. It's all being pooled from the same one. But I just think, be wary of that. Like, I don't know if anyone's out there watching. If you see toxic stuff happening in your guide staff, like somebody needs to nip that in the butt and get that fixed, and you guys need to work together or you're gonna lose to the outfitter next to you.
Something huge that I learned as being a fishing guide here is that like I would work with this staff at the same stock trout pond every single day because I love working with my team and I know that we're all pulling on the same rope. opposed to working at a dream location with a terrible staff. Like, imagine
it's
working.
Not even worth it when you're around people who aren't helping you.
Not even worth
or have
it.
Your,
even if you're in the best place on earth.
Dude, and here's the thing. That lodge I'm talking about, I was in one of the greatest places on earth.
You were.
But man, I look back on those moments and that place, and I only have a bad taste in my mouth for it. And it was only because the people I was around.
Yeah.
And the energy I was around. Here, and I've even had multiple friends and people that like visit Picabo. They always say there's just such a light here and such a vibe. Like they're just always so, like every time they get here, it's like something's been lifted up.
Yeah.
And it's just because everyone here in Picabo, it's so small town. And it's so quiet, and everyone's so sweet. And you walk into the shop in the morning, and you know everyone here at the shop. You know everyone's names. I mean, it's just
everyone's on the same team.
Exactly. It feels like everyone's like that, and I think that's why we are feeling so good and excited about the future of guiding here.
What I'm excited about too is with TravelFishFilm is in the winter. Like when we go travel to other just other areas to fish. Like I love stumbling across little Wyoming or Montana towns that are kind of like the one that we're looking for.
Yes.
Like I love going in. I put this as a little note today on a IG stories. I was like, guide buzz this AM. Like I love guide buzz.
Yeah.
Like it's 7:30. You go in the shop. And there's three
It's
other
just
guys
buzzing,
picking
baby.
through flies.
Yes,
and then the
dude.
fly shop
Coffee's
employees.
pouring.
Fly shop employees like putting their ear out, like trying not to like get caught listening too much. Remember when we were in there working the shop?
And then the guide staff or upper guide members put down some flies that they're picking up for the day, and you're like mentally taking pictures of that thing, and every single fly and all the bins, so you know exactly where it is.
We go over to the head guides and we're like, where are you going today? And they're like, I'm going here. And I'm like, oh nice, I'm going here. And he goes, stay out of there.
Stay out of there.
And we're like, all right. Our puppy sad face. We walk off like, dang it.
Stay out of there.
I love that. I think it's so funny. Oh man, it's kind of wild being. I feel also too as a guide. Again, we're talking about being nervous because we care so much, but I feel pressure every day too, like in good and bad pressure, but pressure because the typical guide age is not our age, and we're just trying to become one of those 30-year-old guides who knows what the heck they're doing, and we're trying to get there a lot faster than most guides our age. And
yeah. And we don't want to overstep boundaries too, because these things need to be earned over
totally.
time. Like you have to start at the bottom and you have to work your way up. I think it's the only way It's the only way you get to where you really want to be. You got to start down there. And it feels like now we have this opportunity because we have a small staff that we're able to grow really quickly up it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean the shoes are filled yet. Like I think you still have to have that little bit in the back of your mind of like, hey man, like you're 25. You don't know everything in the world.
Yeah.
You don't know everything about fly fishing. You need to learn. Every day I go out there, I try to learn something new about my situation and my client's situation.
Totally.
And how I can go about cleaning both of them and making it more fluid. So I agree with you.
The most common DM that we talk about that we get on Instagram, social media in general is, hey, I want to do what you guys do. How do we start? And it's like, man, the best thing we could have ever done was get into a fly shop. And heck, we bounced around fly shop to fly shop till we found the one.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Outfitter to outfitter.
Lodge. I worked at a lodge in the Caribbean islands and went to here.
I went to Alaska. You went over here. We went there.
We had to, and
it's okay.
You find your home, you find your place. But I always tell people, and if anyone's listening to this podcast, and if you're still young, I mean, hell, if you're 32, get in a fly shop, bum it out in the shop. Your job is to go fish on your days off and go learn how to be a fishing guide. That's how we
literally this morning, Joe. I'm parked outside, and a buddy comes up who I've talked to in the past, and he's guiding somewhere else. And he asked today, he's like, "How do I get maybe working in this area or working at this guide staff?" And I said, "Dude, your only job and the only thing you can do is go fish this area as much as possible.
Yeah,
you have to know as much as possible about everything that you." It's the whole game. It doesn't matter what degree you have or guide school you have. They help, but the thing that matters the most is how much time you're spending on the water that you're going to be guiding. Mm-hmm. Because that's the only true way to put people on fish is to know and to have seen these things happen in that fishery before.
I mean, dude, shout out Hunter, my future brother-in-law.
Yeah, shout out.
He had his first guide trip the other day. He just did his second one within the week.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the upper guides about it, and we're all like, "You think he's ready?" and the only way we know is to feed him to the wolves, baby.
Yeah, dude. And he's like, I love the response that our upper guy gave us.
I know, right?
He was literally like, how would anybody know if you're ready to guide or not?
Go
we
throw him in there.
Go for it. Yeah, let's see.
Go
let's
for it.
See if he burns up in there or not.
Yeah, dude. And he
know.
did great.
I'm eager to talk to him about it. I haven't got to talk to him. I passed him in the trailer because we were busy doing this.
He did great. But it's so cool it's so cool to see because we sat in that fly shop for 3 years. Heck, we would grind it. We would do a half-day trip and then go sit in the shop and then go fish because we knew that if we were ever going to get caught up, we had to go fishing.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can learn. And I think
here's
that's the best
too.
homework.
When you meet a client in the morning, and I've had this feeling too, when you meet someone in the morning, you're shaking hands over coffee.
Yeah.
And they're looking down, and I mean, this dude's been fly fishing for 30 years. He's been around. He's done all these amazing things or whatever, you name it.
Traveled the world.
And now he's here, and he's at one of these other amazing places, and he has booked the best shop for it, he thinks. And he thinks he's got the best guide for it. And here I walk up, and I'm a 25-year-old, scrawny, kind of look like a piece of shit, young kid. To him, maybe at first he's kind of like, dang, I would have liked one of those older guides who've been here longer, maybe knows more about fly fishing or you name it. Like sometimes, and shoot, I had a nose ring once. You know how hard it was to get respect from a 55-year-old dude in the morning when he's spending all this money for you to put him on a big fish, like. And he's looking at you like, oh, what the hell is going on here? What the hell is that? Oh no, I got the gay one or something, or whatever it is. It's just like I hated that, and I was so tired of like having to prove myself throughout the guide trip. But I no longer feel that because I feel like I'm ready to guide it.
Totally.
Do you understand?
And do you feel that this season compared to other seasons?
From last season, I'm there, and I'm like, I don't care what this guy, if he maybe doesn't honestly like. He doesn't want to give me my flowers or like listen to me as of right now because I know when we get out there, he's gonna listen to me because I'm gonna say the right things and he's gonna catch the fish and I'm not gonna worry about it. But last year I worried about it all the time, like, is this guy gonna even give me the time of day or is he gonna listen or are we gonna have one of those days where he just and that happens out there. We've had some battles. They aren't gonna listen to a single thing you say.
They're like, boy, I've been fishing longer than you've been alive, and it's like valid. I get it, but you paid for me to teach you today, so I'm telling you what I think you need to know.
Exactly.
You know what's gonna be so funny though?
What?
We talk about this all the time when we go guide like really old fellers, 80, 85, and they're best buds still, and they're cracking jokes. I'm like, can't wait.
Love those trips, dude.
Can't wait for when me and you are 85 and we book a trip because we can't row that flipping boat anymore and we're pieces of crap and we can't move and we get a 19-year-old guy.
I'm gonna be like, put on my waders, buddy. Put them on and take them off, man, dude. Because
we were there once.
That's what we did.
I can't wait till we're older and we hire a 19-year-old guy and we look at each other and be like, oh yeah,
give him hell, brother. No, man, but it's so fun, dude. Those are the funniest trips, and you're like, that's literally Joe and I. And we say it sometimes too.
That's
when
so funny.
We're like driving by. We always spade fishing, steelhead fishing. You'd look down the rivers, and there's two old heads sitting in the chair, talking
not even
to each
fishing.
other over coffee, not fishing. I'm like, there's us in 60 years, Beans. You excited? Oh,
man,
geez.
It's so cool too. Like obviously, you're kind of saying you don't want to guide forever. I mean, you can't be if there's guides out there who are 70 and still guiding, respect. But it's a lot on your body. You're in the sun all day. I foresee it being challenging when we get a lot older. But
think about. We see the guys above us have kids.
Oh yeah,
he's got a busy life, man. And then you're spending 8 hours on the water, and it's also like I can understand too how women don't actually understand. You're just out there fishing all day.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, well, it's kind of like we have to do that. But maybe when we get older, you don't even have to go fishing when you get off your work because you've already fished it all and you already know what's going on. But
I'm excited though I'm excited to get to that age where one day we're like, man, we did it. Spin them up. When we've told other people to spin them up. Oh my gosh, let's talk about timing. Let's talk about timing of like trips. So we have half days, full days, evening, 3/4. Man.
You have a 3/4 day? We do not have a 3/4 day.
No, we don't have a 3/4 day.
A half, an evening, and a full mouse.
Sorry, we don't have a 3/4 day. But I've sometimes done a 3/4 day.
You did it all. You just pick your price? Just put it in between?
Well, if
you're allowed to do that.
No,
it's
totally
your call.
Totally.
It's up to your jurisdiction.
Like, it's so funny with some people, they're like, I'm a big believer, and we did it today, on ending even if it's 15 minutes early, or if you spend a little longer, even, you know how hard it is? Today was one of those days where we caught a nice fish. There's 2 more studs in the pool. And I knew that his wife was going to be waiting in the parking lot of where we were meeting up after at 1:30, and it's 12:55. So timing is another huge thing we've learned as a guide.
Dude,
we can look up at the sun now. We can look up at the sun like, yeah, it's about 2:30.
Yeah, spin them up.
But yeah, it was time to spin them up. We had to walk away from 2 other big fish in a pool that I know I could have caught.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just got to walk away because you know that you had a great day. And with that fish, instead of pounding and potentially not catching those 2 more.
And then going, we didn't get that last one.
Or
ending on that. Woohoo!
Yeah, that was a sweet last fish, man. You talked about on your walk back. And, man, the way you jumped, man, this photo's rad, all those cool things. So it's been so cool, honestly, dude. Like, looking back at when I was, today, again, gosh, a lot of reflections today. But, walking through, we had a little bit of a bushwhack. I couldn't find my trail for a moment, but thinking back of when I first walked in on that trail. that trail every time. You know that trail.
Yes.
It's like an easement in between houses.
I end up over here behind someone. I'm like, oh, shoot.
I'm like, Dave,
sorry about that.
I'm like, you know what? I've said sorry too many times. I said, Dave, thank you for your patience.
Thank you for your patience.
Heck, Dave watches these podcasts. I'm allowed to say his name.
Yeah, you can say it.
He said it today. He's like, when's the next podcast? I said, filming it tonight. Regardless of the point, it's so crazy looking back when you're 18 and I'm looking back at a guide trip. Or I've even had people who fished with me when I was 19 and they fished with me again and I'm 23.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, what the hell was I doing? What were we doing? What was I doing? And it's so cool seeing how many the little things matter so much. Whether if it's bringing an extra water, whether if it's choosing to leave this spot because it's slow and getting in the car and moving on, if that's a good play, or
bringing 2 nets,
whatever it is.
That one got me today. Should have done that.
You should have brought 2 different nets.
Well, like the guy's like, should I bring my net?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, and I have 3, right? And I'm like, no, I'll be around. I'll be all over the place. I'll be running around. I'll work my butt off. I'll help you net all the fish. No, I absolutely needed him to net his own fish today.
Totally.
And I was about.
No.
So there's little things that would have helped the day, and now we know these things. And now by
still learning. But
if every year and every trip you get better at them, but I think it's right now feeling like one of those things where it's like every day I wake up excited and I'm not like completely nerve-wracked about my day. I know what we need to have and I know what you need to really do to have a great day, and that's
totally
great attitude, good talk about weather, honestly. Snacks, food, water, and then just get fishy on it.
Get fishy.
And honestly, it's one of my favorite things my favorite thing ever is to talk.
We're both pretty extroverted humans.
I just want to talk all day. I just want to gab and I just want to see what's going on and say goofy things and have a fun time. And so, like, when I'm out there, I just feel like a kid in a candy store and I ask people funny. I know I'm asking questions and they've never been asked in their life.
To the contrary, though, as much as we are extroverted, I would say 9 out of 10 trips. Yes, I agree. I'd love to talk, but out of those 9, if we're doing 10 in a row, I do want one that's more on the quiet side. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy. Like, sometimes as a guide too. Yeah, like, or we get really chit-chatty for 2 hours and then we have an hour of fishing where we've literally are just watching the fly and I'm going,
and the tube is where you get the most zen. So there's a moment you get of teaching that you have to kind of just shut up because now it's just about them in the fly and you just let them go. I agree. I think that I have a tendency to talk more than other guides. I think I'm pretty vocal.
Me too.
But you also get a read on some people and you go on 400 plus guide trips. Eventually you get to the point where you can read someone pretty quick and understand within 2 hours of the trip, hey, maybe this guy wants me to shut up.
Yeah.
And like, maybe I shouldn't have to teach every single time or every moment. But other guide trips, it's like, that's obviously what they want, but it is just different things, different times, different strokes, different folks.
Man, I think this has been a great podcast. I think it took us a minute to get warm, but I think we did a good job.
Yeah. What time are we at?
We're at 49 minutes. I think we wrapped it up.
I think wrap it up. You want to end on a high note or you want to go to even 60? We can even 60 it. Come on, even 60 now. Oh, Annika's home, and you need to go see her because she just brought dangs.
She just brought really yummy sushi.
Yeah,
home.
she did brought sushi and pad thai.
And it's also 6:43. I think my social battery is running low.
All right, cool.
No,
Wow.
this was great. No.
He's kicking me out.
No.
Chat.
Chat.
Did you see the passive aggressiveness? Chat.
No,
That's the next thing is live stream. Okay, let's wrap it up there.
That was great. Guide bullshit. And I think we could do this one again when we're a little more warm. I know, we kind of just it was like honest guide. It was like guide honesty is more what it was.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll name it that.
Guide honesty.
Honestly. Or what's it like to be a fly fishing guide?
No, we'll just probably name it whatever you see.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That was great. That was, here comes July. I think we're ready. We're feeling pretty confident.
We'll fit in a couple more of these. We're gonna do this. We can do this, man.
This is our first one. This is our first one in like 3 weeks. So we got to get comfortable talking to the mic. So thank you guys for sticking through it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And we're getting better at this one by one. But, we can check us out. TravelFishFilm on Spotify or on our YouTube channel, TravelFishFilm. We post them to both. We appreciate all y'all who listen. You can even download it if you're going on a road trip and you're out of service. Download it.
You get to watch this as well. You
Yeah,
get to
totally.
see our faces and the way it moves.
Heck yeah.
Also, this guy's got an Instagram account. You guys probably know what it is. Ida Fly. You guys go follow it. Go see what he's up to. If you want to hear some of the snippets from these guide talks is on his Instagram.
On his Instagram, Funky
on my
Fly
Instagram,
Guy.
Yes.
Well, we post. We try and also feel free to follow the fly shop we work for, Picabo Angler.
Yes, absolutely.
We love where we work. We love the team we work for. Obviously, we talked about them for the entire 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that was a fun podcast. I'd love to do another one.
Yeah. If you're interested in booking a trip, you can message us on our socials.
That's right.
Completely allowed and acceptable and completely legal in the state of Idaho.
Yes, it is.
So you can do whatever you want through there. Good job, Joe Beans. We did it. Did you think we were gonna? Did you think we were gonna? No way, huh?
We've been trying to go. Let's do a podcast tonight. And we're like, nah. And then we get tired. Nah, that was good. Let's do it again soon. I think there was one more thing I wanted to say. I can't think of it.
Appreciate you being here. And
what's in the bank? So I guess for all the local subscribers. Sorry, this is the longest outro ever. For all the subs who really tune in, we got some Patagonia videos from March that Bradley and I are gonna be editing as best we can. A peacock bass film. Stay tuned for those. And I think that's it.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, slight plug. Sorry.
Yeah, go watch the videos when they come out, and then come with us to tell them they're coming to Patagonia.
And if you guys are interested in joining us in Patagonia in 2025 and or 2026, reach out to us via Instagram, and we will get you guys dates. And it is the trip of a lifetime, and we want to bring you guys with us. So thank you for watching this episode of TravelFishFilm podcast. We will catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.